Speedy, I Need You, adapted from Runaway by Isaac Asimov. There was a ghostly silence on Mercury. The planet was bathed in sunlight, blinding, hot, and merciless. Mike rushed down the steps of their spaceship and went into the control room where Greg was on his seat. Speedy hadn't returned to the spaceship. The Red Cross, he explained to Greg, is the selenium pool 30 kilometers away. The blue crosses show Speedy's route and position. For the first time, Greg showed anxiety. "This is impossible," he whispered. "In the 2 hours I watched him," Mike added, "he has gone round the selenium pool 4 times. It seems likely he'll do that forever." The only thing that could save them from the terrible heat of the sun on Mercury was selenium. And the only one who could get selenium, their Speedy, their trusted robot. If Speedy did not come back, Mike and Greg would die a painful death in the heat. "We can't just wait and do nothing," Mike said, rather desperately. "What should we do?" wondered Greg. "Can't we go after Speedy ourselves?" "No, we can't. We'll be burnt in no time," said Mike. "I have an idea. We could use the old robot that was brought to Mercury 10 years ago," said Greg. "It has a very simple brain," Mike said, "but it alone can save us. Let's use it." "But then," Mike exclaimed, "this is an old robot. It can't move on its own. Someone has to ride it like a horse." If Mike or Greg rode the old robot and went outside, they would die. Mike decided to take the tunnel route close to the selenium pool. "The temperature is 80 degrees Celsius, whispered Mike. "There's the selenium pool, and I can see Speedy." "Let's call him," said Greg. "Speedy!" shouted Mike into his radio. "Come back!" Speedy looked up and saw them. Then he turned away. Over their radios, Mike and Greg heard him singing. Mike said weakly, "Greg, he has gone mad." "No," said Greg. "There's something that's confusing his brain." "Right," said Mike. "There are 3 laws that are built into a robot's brains. The first law states that a robot must not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to be harmed. According to the second law, a robot must obey orders. And the third law says that a robot must protect itself unless this conflicts with the first and second laws." Mike realized what was happening to Speedy. The third law is driving him away from the pool. The second law is driving him to the pool. "We must stop him. Otherwise, he'll go on like this forever," he said. "According to the first law, a robot cannot watch a human being in danger without coming to his help." "I'm going out there," said Greg, and stepped out of the tunnel. The sun was hotter than ever. He cast one glance over his shoulder and realized that he had come too far to return by himself. Speedy continued going around in a circle, talking to himself. "Speedy!" Greg called out anxiously into his radio. "I must get back to shade or the sun will kill me. It is life or death. Speedy, I need you!" Seeing Greg in danger of losing his life, Speedy snapped back into action. Greg felt metal fingers on his arm. Speedy, in a worried, apologetic voice, was saying, "What is the matter, boss? What are you doing here? I'm so confused." "Never mind," Greg whispered weakly. "Get me to exit 13A and hurry." Greg woke up to see Mike bending over him. "How are you?" "Fine." "How's Speedy?" Speedy came and stood behind Mike. Greg took out his hand and held Speedy's metal fingers for a moment. "It's okay, Speedy," he said. Speedy had saved him.